If you're not familiar with plasma lighting, it may be new to you. Some of you, obviously, who are familiar with Magnanimous and with HIVE know a little bit about plasma. But really quickly, it's a high output, low power draw, high quality, flicker-free, long bulb life source. It's really designed to replace your HMIs. In the same way that an LED might replace your fluorescence or your incandescence, this is really for your high output daylight work. But what we have here new this year is really our frames. So we redesigned the WASP PAR over the course of last year, and we showed that at IBC, which is a trade show in Europe, and we're bringing it here to NAB for the first time, but it's been out on the market a little bit. But what we really wanted to do this year was allow you to gang those lights together to get some really powerful sources. So we start with our base WASP PAR. That's going to be basically a 575 watt HMI equivalent, pulling only 275 watts. We then have 3 different frames that you can use. The first is a double frame, so it's a double header. You can put 2 lights together, and that's going to get you up to about a 1.2K HMI. Then we go up to a 4 light frame. So you take 4 of your WASPs, build them into a 4 light, and that 4 light's going to be getting you up to almost a 2.5K HMI output. And what's really great about that is you're able to plug that into the wall, and at 4 lights, you're really only pulling about 10 amps of power, 9.5. Then we have our 6 light frame, and that's where it gets really exciting, because that's the brightest light you can plug into a 20 amp circuit. And that's going to be able to run anywhere in the world. They run 90 to 300 volts. And that 6 light frame takes 6 lights. It's 1,650 watts. That's 14 amps on 120 volt power. So you're able to plug that into the wall. You're still able to charge your batteries, run a small LED, run a couple different lights or a couple different, power your camera, all on that 20 amp circuit with no problem. And that light's going to be almost a 4K HMI output. It's a beautiful source, very punchy, really long throw. It's great through diffusion. It's a beautiful bounce source. It makes incredible book lights, and you can actually keep it inside. It's that cool. But it's a really, really wonderful source. We're really excited to show it off here this year. So there's a lot of things about plasma lighting that is very familiar. It's a single point source bulb. However, the way we make light with that plasma is very exciting. We actually excite an inert noble gas, argon, mixed with metal salts inside a very, very small, about tic-tac size quartz capsule. That gives us a huge amount of light, and they're literally microstars. They're small burning balls of gas. Now, that sounds really exciting, but there is more that makes it different, which is because it's so small, that arc allows us to create really efficient optics as well. We can put them into PARs, we can put them into floods, and what's nice about that is, unlike, say, an LED or fluorescent, they're very easy to cut and shape. But unlike an HMI or a tungsten incandescent, they're very, very long bulb life, and they're very, very robust. So they have no filaments, they have no electrodes, they're not going to be damaged by vibration or impact. So it's a really powerful source, it's a really reliable source with a really high color quality. And I think most importantly, the thing to remember is it just uses a lot less power. So for your HMIs, you might be saying, a 400 watt bulb is really pulling almost 500 watts with its ballast. And so you're looking at, many amps being used by any of your tungsten incandescent. You really fill up a circuit very quickly. With our plasma lights, each one being 275 watts, mean that you can plug up to 7 of them into a single 20 amp circuit. So that's where a lot of the advantages come from. Now, we're not officially announcing a timeline for this right now, but we are in the development currently of a 450 watt emitter, and that would be the next generation. Now, that emitter would not be a direct replacement. So a lot of the times when you have an LED head, they come out with a brighter one, and you just basically have to buy an entirely new fixture. We're going to have different fixtures for different models, much more like the HMI or incandescent world we're used to, where you have a 1K, a 2K, or a 1.2K and a 2.5K. This is going to be a 275 and then a 450. They're going to be different lights, but they're going to have a lot of the same properties and similarities. And you can start looking for that end of this year, beginning of next year. But right now, we're not ready to give an exact timeline. So I think that a lot of what's been asked of people over the last 5 years is really to do more with less. We have more channels. We have more forms of distribution. We have many more camera options. We have many more people working in the industry, but that hasn't increased the overall amount of money really being handed out. So we all have this experience where we know a lot more people who have the ability to make much higher quality stuff, and unfortunately that's depressed the market in terms of how much is paid per video. That means that our budgets are smaller. So, there used to be a time when we had, $100 million film, and then we had $50 million films, and then we had $25 million films. Now we're in a world where there's $100 million films, and then a lot of $10 million films and under. And with those kind of constraints on budget, that means you need basically different products that are going to give you more using less. That's really what HIVE Lighting is about. We want to give you high color quality, high output, really long bulb life, but at a price point that is significantly less than traditional HMIs, both to purchase up front and to own and operate. So without a bulb burning out, with 30,000 hours, you don't have to worry about that kind of replacement cost. Beyond that, our upfront cost is going to be significantly less. So for your average 575 watt PAR HMI package, you're looking at between $5,000 to $7,000. We sell list price on our PAR WASP, which is a direct replacement for that, $3,350. And often you can get an even better deal on that. So you're looking at a very reasonable rental rate, you're looking at a very reasonable purchase rate, and that's really the kind of savings that you need in this kind of production reality.